friends, welcome to Miscellaneous March. Today we're going to be doing yoga to boost our metabolism. So, if you have a block, grab it. If you don't have a block, grab maybe a throw pillow or two that you can stack on top of one another. Maybe a couple of books you can stack on top of each other. We're only going to be using it for a couple poses, so don't worry if you don't have anything. Not a big deal. We're going to begin today lying on our back. Just slowly roll back one vertebrae at a time. And bring those feet close to your glutes. We're going to lift up and slide that block right underneath our sacrum, or your pillow, or your books, whatever you have. Just to lift our hips up off the ground. And we're going to close our eyes. We're going to take a few breaths, becoming present on our mat, letting go of everything else going on in the world for the next 30 minutes or so. Let's start by taking a deep breath in and completely empty out your exhale. Deep breath in and completely empty out that exhale. Last one. Breathing in and emptying out your exhale. From here, I'm going to grab my block, or whatever you have, block, pillow, books, whatever, and we're going to lift our legs, kind of like they're up against a wall. Just helping the circulation in our legs and our feet. Take a few breaths here. And slowly bring one foot down and then the other. Lift up those hips. Remove the block, pillows, or books. Hands on the mat coming into bridge pose. Lifting those hips up towards the sky. Keeping the knees in line with the hips. Take a breath. And gently come down one vertebrae at a time. Perfect. We're going to turn to the right. And bring the left arm out. Look over at that left hand. Coming back through center. Turning to the left. We're going to bring the right arm out. Look towards that hand. Take one breath. And turn your whole body to the right this time. And help yourself up. Into a seat. Just a regular crisscross applesauce at the ankles, sitting up nice and tall. We're just going to warm up our joints a little bit here. Let's breathe in, bring the arms overhead. And exhale, arms come down. One more time. And last one. Let's stretch out those wrists. Grab the forefingers on the right, pull them under. Bring them over. And the other side, pull them under. And over. Couple shoulder rolls. One way and then the other. Placing your hands in front of you, we're going to come into a tabletop. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Pull that belly button towards your spine. We're going to arch the back, open the chest, lift the chin, and take an inhale. Round through the back, chin to chest, exhale. Open it up, cat-cow. Inhale. round through, exhale. One more time. Here we're going to kind of do like a freestyle cat-cow. You can really bend your elbows, getting into it, rounding through that back, and then arching. This is really good to clean out the toxins in your stomach and your organs. And let's come into a plank from here. Checking our stance. We're going to take a deep breath in and exhale, lift up with one hand, bring it back down. Breathe in, exhale, lift up, bring down. If you need to drop your knees down to modify, go ahead. Make sure you're breathing. And 3, 2, 1. Drop those knees down. Wide-legged child's pose. Big toes touch. Sit back on those heels. Melt your chest towards the mat. Bring forehead towards the mat. Take a few breaths. Slowly rising up, coming back to a tabletop. Coming back to a plank. This time we widen our stance, so bring the feet a little further apart than hip distance. Hands are still under your shoulders. We're going to take a deep breath in. Open the right arm to the sky. Exhale to come down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep going. Drop those knees down, big toes touch. Come back to your wide-legged child's pose, melt that chest down, forehead to the mat. Take a few breaths here. Catching our breath. Starting to feel that heart rate rise. Slowly round through. Coming back to tabletop, coming into our first downward dog. Pedal those feet out. Make sure you're breathing. Tailbone lifts towards the sky. On your next breath in, right leg comes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, come right back up. Breathe in, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Come on back up, breathe in, three-legged dog. Exhale, left elbow. Come on back up, breathe in, exhale, and right elbow. We're going to step it up. Drop the knee down in the back, flatten that foot. Squeezing the inner thighs together, we slowly begin to rise up. Catch your breath, fix your hair, fix your clothes, all the things. Arms overhead. Exhale, we're going to twist open to the right. Come through center, tighten that core. Twist over to the left. Try to keep those arms in line with one another. Come Come back through center, coming back over to the right, keeping that core tight. We're coming through over to the other side. And arms come overhead. Deep breath in. Exhale, frame that front foot, pop up on the back leg. Come into a plank. Chaturanga, drop your knees down if you need to modify. Otherwise, breathe in. Exhale. Open that chest. Inhale. Bend those knees, curl one, then the other, and exhale to downward dog. Pedal those feet. Make sure you're breathing. On the next breath in, left leg comes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, left elbow, come right back up. Breathe in. Exhale, right elbow, come right back up. Breathe in. Exhale, left elbow, come right back up. Breathe in. And exhale, right elbow. This time we step it up. Drop the back leg down, flatten that foot. Squeeze the inner thighs together, slowly rising up. Arms overhead. Breathe in and exhale, twist open to the left. Coming through center, tighten that core. Coming over to the right. Arms are in line. Breathing, coming back through center, over to the left. Back to the right. Come back to center. Arms overhead. Breathe in. And exhale, frame the front foot. Hop up on the back, slide back to a plank. We're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, turn on the outside of the left foot, inside of the right foot. Open that arm to the sky. Coming back through center. Turning. Open it up on the other side. If you need to use a kickstand to modify, feel free. Coming back through center. Open it up. Lift those hips. Make sure you're breathing. One more time. Come back through center. Back to your downward dog. Take a deep breath. Walk it out. We're going to roll forward into a plank. Drop your knees down. Then your chest and your chin. Flatten the feet. Really utilizing your arm strength here. And come onto your belly. Hands down by your side. Feet are zipped up. We're going to lift that belly button towards the spine. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, lift the chest and the feet, locust pose. Lower down. Lift the feet this time. Grab the tops of the feet or the ankles, keeping the knees in line with the hips. We're going to tighten the core, lift that belly button. Deep breath in, exhale, lift. Bow pose. Lower down. Hold on to those ankles. We're going to go up one more time. Deep breath in. Tighten that belly button. And lift. Exhale. And lower. Hands come under your shoulders. Curl those toes under. Come to your tabletop, then your downward dog. Pedal those feet out. And come up on those tippy toes. Walk it to the front. Coming into your first forward fold. Activating those thighs. Tightening the core, lifting the tailbone towards the sky. If you need to bend your knees, go for it. Bringing more weight into the balls of the feet and the toes. can sway it out here. Slowly begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time. Deep breath in. And exhale, hands to heart. Bring those feet close together as best as you can. If your knees are knocking and your feet aren't touching, that's okay. We're gonna bring hands to heart, sitting into chair pose, and we're gonna pulse it here. Lift your toes off the mat. More weight coming into the heels. And 3, 2, 1. Let's twist it over to the right, lifting that belly up off the thighs. Take a deep breath. See if you can open up the arms here. One more breath. Hands come back together, coming back through center. And twist it over to the left, lifting the belly up off the thighs. Take a deep breath here. Maybe you open up those arms. One more breath. Hands come back together, coming through center, forward fold. Slowly rise on up. Breathe in, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. We're gonna come into tree pose. Lift all 5 of your left toes, place them down one at a time. Really spreading through that foot. We're going to slowly lift the right knee and place that foot either on the shin. Maybe you need to keep a toe on the mat, or above the knee. We do not want it on the kneecap. So, if you ever see a picture and somebody is like this and their foot is resting on their kneecap, they probably haven't had any yoga training. Sorry, just saying. Keeping those hips nice and open, lifting that belly button towards the spine. Make sure wherever your foot is, you can stand in this position. So don't be ashamed if you have to keep a toe on the mat. At least you're balancing. You're standing in that pose for a period of time, rather than trying to get your foot up way high and you're wobbling all over the place, right? Let's see if we can lift the arms over the head. Make sure you're focusing a few feet in front of you. Take a deep breath. One more deep breath. Hands come to heart. Listen carefully. This is going to be challenging, but I want you to at least try. We're going to try to come into a half moon from here. So we begin stretching the back foot out, opening up, and if you fall, it's okay. Guess what? You start again, right? Find your balance. Find your focus. Make sure you're breathing. Open it up. And voila, guess what? Usually, you get it the second time. Maybe not. Maybe the third, fourth, or the 100th. But you never stop trying. All right, shake it out. Let's take it to the other side. So we did okay, lift the right toes, all 5 toes, put them down one at a time, spread through that foot. Standing up nice and tall, hands can come to your heart. We begin to lift the left leg. Now eventually you'll be able to place that foot all by your lonesome without your hand, right? But all in good time. Now I like to pull mine up a little bit more because I can open up my hips a little wider. Hands come back to your heart. Lifting the belly button towards the spine. Finding your focal point. Take a breath. Maybe you bring arms overhead. One more breath. Hands back to your heart. And this is where we come into our half moon. We begin stretching that back foot. Opening up. And if you need to bring fingertips to the floor or to a block, please, by all means, you can use a block in that. I just personally find that my half moon dangling is much more easy than putting my fingers on the ground, because that's when I get really wobbly trying to reach the ground. But if you wanted to have your block right there when you come out and you're stretching it out, that wouldn't be a bad idea at all. That's a great, listen, I still use blocks in my half moon. Ain't no shame in my game, honey. Use the blocks. That's what they're there for. All right, shake it out. Let's reach the arms overhead. Breathing in and exhale, swan dive it down. Halfway lift. Breathing in, exhale, forward fold. Bringing the hands down to the mat. Step it back to a plank. And we're gonna drop those knees down, swing them around. If you have a block handy, go ahead and grab it. If you have a throw pillow, grab it. If you don't, just have an imaginary block. They all work the same. We're going to bring our legs overhead. Place that block right between the shins. You can slide those hands under your glutes to keep them in line. We're going to breathe in, really squeezing that block to make sure it doesn't fall. And exhale, drop it down, almost to the ground, and then bring it up. Breathing in, exhale, bring it up. Breathing in, exhale, bring it up. Continue breathing on your own. One more. Go ahead and grab that block, put it down. Lifting the upper back off of the mat. Nice open space between shitted chest. Fingertips interlace coming behind the head. We're going to do some bicycle twists. Opposite knee and elbow come together, and the other leg comes out long and suspends. Coming back in, other side. Slow, controlled movements are way more effective than fast, sloppy movements. And you won't hurt yourself with slow, controlled movements. Isn't it lovely that you still get the exact same benefit? I get in. Did you like my song? Let's rock it back and forth. We're going to do a reclined pigeon, and then we're going to do a plow pose because both of those are very good for digestion and metabolism. So let's begin by placing the left leg over the right. Lift so that shin is parallel with the sky. We're going to grab behind that thigh and pull everything in towards the chest. Take a deep breath. And slowly lower it down. Left foot comes to the ground, right foot comes up, crosses over. Left shin is down parallel with the sky. We're going to interlace the fingers behind and bring everything in. Keep both feet flexed and active. And release. Now for cloud pose, let me scoot down so you can see me. If you're new, I suggest doing it close to a wall because when you come into your cloud pose, you want to make sure that your back is nice and straight. And in order to do that, you might need to rest your feet on the wall. Work on getting that spine straight before you work on getting your feet down to the ground, okay? You want to come up onto your shoulders. That's the plan. And keep a nice long open neck. You can also keep your feet suspended in the air if you're not near a wall. You can also use your couch to rest your feet on. So you just want to work on getting a nice straight spine. And then eventually your feet will touch the ground. Shoulder stands are really good for metabolism too. Wherever you are, we're going to place our hands on the mat. These are our breaks, keeping the knees nice and close to the face. Slowly coming out one vertebrae at a time. Very, very, very slowly. Those hands are there to slow you down. Hug everything in. Rock it back and forth. We're going to do one more twist, because twists are just wonderful for digestion, they're wonderful for little teeny waists, and they're wonderful for metabolisms. They really get everything cleaned out in there and everything working good. So we're going to bring our hips over to the left a bit, drop our legs down to the right, and then see if you can cross that right leg over top of the left. It's going to feel weird, I know. Do your best to try and keep both shoulder blades on the mat. I know it's hard. Take a couple breaths. And release, coming back through center. Let's bump the hips to the right and drop the knees down to the left. This time we cross the left over the right. Do your best trying to keep both shoulder blades on the mat. And take a few breaths here. Gently release. Let's come back up. And we're going to come back to a seat, so you can either turn to one side and come up gently, or rock and roll, baby. You can cross at the ankles and rock and roll this way, or you can come into a little ball, gain some momentum, and bam, come on into a seat. Last thing we're going to do, and then I'll let you guys go for our seated meditation, we haven't worked on some flexibility in a little bit, so let's come into our middle splits. You should be able to sit up nice and straight, no problem. If you're rolling, that means your legs are too far apart for your body right now. You're just not there yet. So, close those legs. I don't mean it that way. And see if then you can sit up straight. And if you can, that means that's where your legs are supposed to be right now. Doesn't mean you're never going to get those legs super wide open and laying flat on the ground. Eventually you will. I promise, if you keep working at it, you will get more flexible. Has it taken me forever to get the little bit of flexible that I am now? Yes, it has. But I'm more flexible than I was the day I started, so it doesn't matter. It's a journey, right? It can be frustrating sometimes, but it is what it is. Now, we're going to hinge from our hips, lead from the chest. You can use your little block to lean on, or you can use your fingertips, or you can use a couple pillows and kind of hang out with your elbows on, whatever. Just make sure your spine is straight. That's all. That's all I care about. So yeah, it can be really frustrating sometimes when you're like, man, I've been doing yoga for like 2.5 years. Why can't I do a split? Why can't I do crow pose? Some people are better at certain poses. Different bodies are better at different poses. It is what it is. Like, I can do headstands. I just can't do a handstand. I can do headstands. I just can't do splits all the way. It is what it is, you know? Certain bodies are better at certain things. Our bodies build muscles in places that are different, so it just has a lot to do with anatomy. Sometimes people are less flexible than others, and that's okay. You find your strengths, you find your weaknesses, and you work with them. So, yeah, let's move it out a little bit more. Keeping those feet flexed. Take a couple breaths. And I cannot believe those yoga challenges that I've done where I don't talk, I just play the music and just flow and you guys follow along. I cannot believe how many views they've gotten. Like all 3 of them. It wasn't just like one. It's every single one of them. So crazy. Alright, let's slowly begin to walk it up. And we're going to come out of this real slow. Bend one knee in, and then the other. And let's come into our seated meditation. You can just come into a nice comfortable seat, crisscross applesauce, or sit up on a block, which you know I love to do. Even in my yoga class, I will bring my block just to sit up on. Just in the beginning of class. I love sitting up on my block. It just makes me feel tall. I don't know, like it gives me that length. Whatever. Anywho, make sure you're nice and comfortable, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down. Go ahead and close your eyes. You can have your hands in your lap or on your knees. I like one on my heart, one on my belly. I like to feel my breath. Wherever you are, let's begin. Take a deep breath in. And nice slow exhale. Your exhale should always be longer than your inhale. Go ahead and continue breathing on your own. Again, if your thoughts start to run away and you start thinking about all the stressful things, use your word to kind of bring you back to the present and get you out of your head for a little bit. You can chant like love or whatever. Inside your head, chant it, and I promise you it'll bring you back to the present. bring your hands to your heart. Give yourself a smile. We're going to finish off with 2 ohms. Let's start by taking a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Go ahead and keep that smile on your face. Gently open your eyes. If you made it through your meditation, good for you. Most people have shut the video off by now and completely skipped the meditation. And let me tell you, they're doing a disservice to themselves, especially this moment in time. It's so important that we stop and just be with ourselves and our breath. It's so important. We need that time right now. So anyway, just thought I would put that out there. If you made it through meditation, good for you. All right, y'all. I think tomorrow I might do another yoga challenge. I haven't decided, but they're super popular, so I might do 1 or 2 more before March is up. So, all right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.